Hello everyone and good morning to all student of standard 10th. We were dealing with 9 chapters soil resources. I have already told you two types of soil that are alluvial soil and black soil. This two soil I have already explained in my last class. Now we'll take remaining that is red soil onwards. So pay attention. Dear students, red soil is on page number 108. You can open with me your books and pay attention. By the time I'll be reading, I'll be explaining also. So you can listen carefully at the same time, pay attention in your book, keep finger in the book itself, where you can go with me word by word. I hope all are with me here. Third heading, red soil. It is a category of soil which develops on old crystalline rock. Old crystalline rock, crystal, you know that is not a amorphous form, that is crystal form have a definite structure. The atoms have a definite structure in crystal form. Under prolonged weathering by rainfall, ancient crystalline and metamorphic rocks of peninsular plateau break up to form this soil. This soil differs from place to place on the basis of parental rock material and climatic condition. It is red in color as it contains large amount of iron oxide. Underline this line. This is important line. Iron oxide. Because of the presence of iron oxide, this soil is red in color. Many times it is asked in the board exams also, and it can be asked in future also. So you should know why red color is there in the red soil, because of the presence of large amount of iron oxide. At several places, its color slightly changes and it appears brown or gray. It's look yellow when it occurs in the hydrated form. Hydrated means with water. Distribution. Red soil forms the second largest soil group in India and is found mainly on the plateau region of the peninsular India from Tamil Nadu in the south to Bundelkhand in the north and Rajmahal Hills in the east to Kutch in the west. Red soil covers almost the whole of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, southeastern Maharashtra, parts of Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Bundelkhand, Madhya Pradesh, and many other like Meghalaya, Mizoram, Manipur, Telangana, Nagaland. Scattered patches of red soil are also found in Birbhum. Where is Birbhum? Birbhum is in West Bengal. Birbhum, Mirzapur, Jhansi, Banda, Hamirpur is in Uttar Pradesh, Udaipur, Chittorgarh, Durgapur, Banswara, Bhilwara district of Rajasthan. It is practically encircles it practically encircles the entire black soil region. On all the sides it extends northwards in the west along the Konkan coast of Maharashtra. Here I'm showing you map now. Soil resources, you can see this is map, and it's an important map which is showing soil distribution. Different types of soil are shown here with red dot. Alluvial soil is shown. We have already studied alluvial soil, black soil, and red soil and yellow soil. Red and yellow soil, somewhere it is yellow soil also. So it is shown by yellow color. Red soil is shown here in yellow shade. So you can pay attention where we have read just now. There you can observe, and this can come. This is an important map. It can be asked for your board exams also to fill any soil. So it is important map. You have to practice it. Okay. So practice this map, and as soon as possible, you have to keep it with you for submitting. I hope it's clear to all of you. Okay. Now let us move to characteristics of red soil. What are characteristics of red soil? I'll read for you. Red soil has got its name from its color. It is porous and has high percentage of iron oxide. It's generally, it is generally shallow, and its pH value ranges from 6.6 to 8.0. It is loose and aerated. It is poor in nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and organic matter. It is ideal for dry farming as it is formed in poor rainfall areas. So this is the characteristics, 6 characteristics already read. Seventh, red soil is not fertile but respond to fertilizers. Fertilizers, along with fertilizers, it can grow a healthy crop, but it itself is not having so much fertility. It's need irrigation for support. It needs irrigation support for cultivation. It contains double salt in small quantities. Crops. Though red soil is suitable for cultivation almost all crops type, it is most suitable for growing vegetable, rice, ragi, tobacco, groundnut, and potatoes can be grown on coarse soil at higher level and sugarcane on heavy clay at lower levels. So you understood crops which are grown, and we have to keep in mind. If any problem is there, ask me in comment box. Fourth type of soil we have here, Lectroid soil. This soil, the soil type is formed as a result of atmospheric weathering of rocks under the condition of high rainfall and temperature, with alternate wet and dry periods. It is the residual soil formed by the leaching due to tropical rains. What is leaching? Leaching is a process, underline. This has to be underlined. Leaching is a process in which the nutrients get percolated down below the soil due to heavy rainfall. This is an important point. It can be asked for board exam. What is leaching? Thus, leaving the topsoil infertile. This is called desi or desilication. What is desilication? That is also an important term. What is desilication? Leaching, after leaching process, when nutrients get percolated below the soil due to heavy rainfall and topsoil is infertile. This topsoil is called desilication, or you can say other name of leaching also. It is desilication. Due to heavy rains, the lime and silica are leached away and aluminum compounds are left behind. Humus content of the soil is removed by bacteria that survives well in high temperature. There are two types of laterite soil, that is upland laterite and lowland laterites. Upland you can understand that are high elevation, and lowland which are low elevation. Upland laterites are formed over hills and uplands. From there, they are transported by stream towards the lowlands. Such transported soil are known as lowland laterites. So we have seen in the map previously that it is red color is showing laterite soil. Dear students, here we have an important, very important box it is. So this is very, very important for you. You have to learn it. It is very important. So learn it. Okay. Now, here alluvial soil is shown, formation is shown, areas are shown here, then characteristics, crops are shown. I have already read all this for you, but in short, they are giving all this. So this become very, very important table. And your vivas and all this table can be very important to ask questions from. So you have to, if you have time, you can draw in notebook also. Otherwise, you have to do it. It is one of the important portion of this chapter. Now, let us see distribution of laterite soil. Laterite soil mainly occurs in the highland areas of peninsular plateau, especially on the summits of the Shayadris. Shayadris, you can understand Western Ghat and Eastern Ghats, Rajmahal Hills, and many other hills in the eastern parts of peninsula. Patches of laterite soil are found in Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Maharashtra, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and along the top slopes of peninsular mountains, the western and eastern Ghats. What are the characteristics of laterite soil? This is one of the important point. So learn. Maximum you can learn four characteristics from each. Okay. So they can ask maximum three or four. Characteristics of laterite soil. Let us see. It is coarse. It is of a coarse texture. Coarse, I have told you previous class also, that is rough. Coarse texture, soft and friable. Friable you can say, which can easily spread. It is red due to presence of iron oxide, which is formed by leaching. The soluble plant food like potash are removed from the top soil, leaving alumina and iron oxide. Third, it is porous soil. Porous, you understand, which can allow water to go down. Porous soil, silica is removed from it by chemical action. It is poor in lime and magnesium and deficient in nitrogen. It does not retain moisture and hence not fertile. So it is suitable only for special crops like tapioca, cashew nuts, tea, coffee, etc. It is acidic in nature as alkalis are leached. it is considered suitable for building purposes. So, for building purposes also it is used. What are the crops? As the Lectroid soil has low fertility because of high acidity, low moisture latent manuring, and other activities are required to make it suitable for growing crops such as ragi, rice, and sugarcane. Paddy is grown on the lower elevation, whereas tea, cinchona, rubber, and coffee are grown on higher elevations. So, these are the crops. Keep in mind, at least you have to see three crops of the low level and three crops of the high elevation crops. Soil erosion. This we have already dealt with the slides. I told you what is soil erosion. There are different sheet erosion. One of the student told me that sheet erosion he didn't understood. Now you can pay attention. You will be getting more on this now. What is soil erosion, dear student? The removal of the topsoil covered by water and human activities is called soil erosion. It is very familiar topic to you. I hope not hard. You will be understanding. It is it is responsible for soil conditioning, either through the agriculture or through pollution like dumping of chemical waste in water bodies as well as underground. Beside human activity, soils are degraded by nature during drought or floods. Drought, you understand? That is lack of water. And floods, plenty of water, more than what is required. Now, soil erosion by water. Pay attention, sheet erosion is here. Sheet erosion, it occurs on gentle slope. It is a slow removal of the thin layer of soil and vegetation is destroyed. Rainwater washes away a thin layer of bare soil. You understand when soil does not have trees or grasses, it's bare soil, means subjected to directly flow of water or directly flow of air currents. When these currents are removing complete layer, you have studied a soil profile. On the basis of that, the topmost soil, humus, it has been removed completely, like complete a sheet, like a bed sheet has been removed now. So in that action, complete sheet is removed. So like that, it is called sheet erosion. Rill erosion. When sheet erosion continues for long, the silt-laden runoff forms many finger-shaped rills on grooves over the large area. This is called rill erosion. It is the intermediate stage between sheet erosion and gully erosion. Next, third is gully erosion. What is gully erosion? During heavy downpour, that is heavy rain, deep gullies are made on the bare soils. On account of water runoff, gully erosion removes nutrients and heavy loads of loose soil, making the soil unproductive. It makes water very muddy. This is seen in the Chambal Valley region. Chambal Valley, I have shown you in the slides, you are familiar with. Leaching, we have already studied. Let us see what is leaching once again. After harvesting, farmer leave the soil bare for some time. During rainfall, the nutrients of the soil are leached or percolated. Percolated, that is taken down below the top layer. The tidal waves, sea or shore erosion. The tidal waters of the sea cause considerable damage to the soil along the coast. The powerful waves dashed against the coast and break hanging cliff rocks. The broken material is then removed by the retreating sea waves. This type of sea erosion is seen through the eastern and western coast of the India. So this is what sea or shore erosion. Stream or bank erosion. Stream and rivers change their courses by cutting one bank and developing the split silt lot on the other. During flash floods, that is instantly flood, that are called flash floods, the damage is accelerated. Stream bank erosion is prevalent in the floodplains of Ganga, Yamuna, and other rivers. As a result of stream erosion, large areas of agricultural land in the states of Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan have been transformed into ravines. Then we have soil erosion due to human action. The loss of vegetation cover leads to the soil erosion or sheet erosion on hilly slopes because water, instead of sinking into the ground, washes the soil down. And in the second stage, what happened? Let us see in the second stage. What happened? In the second stage, the absence. In the second stage, in the absence of vegetation cover, washing of the absorbent topsoil, rills begin to appear on the landscape. In the third stage, the water run off during heavy rains may develop deep grooves causing gully erosion. The outer Himalayas, that is Shivalik, that is Shivalik, the western and eastern Ghats are subjected to deforestation by man. These areas also receive heavy monsoon rains, the removal of vegetation cover for different land use like railway lines, roads, buildings, or even agriculture has caused sheet, rills, and gully erosion. In these areas, local population practice shifting cultivation. The heavy rains then wash away the bare soil from the slopes to the valleys below. Another important cause Another important cause of sheet, rill, and gully erosion is uncontrolled grazing of domestic animals. Grazing, understand now? All animals take more and more grass and they are just removing the vegetation cover. Valleys in the upper slopes. Let us see erosion by wind. Wind erosion refers to the movement of deposition of soil particles by wind. It occurs when soil devoid of vegetation is exposed to high velocity when wind moves soil particles 0 0.1 to 0.5 mm in size and bouncing or hopping fashion, and those greater than 0 0.5 by rolling. The former is known as saltation. Former means when small particles are carried away, then it's called saltation, and the later is soil creep when it is moving along the ground, that is rolling, that's called soil creep. These particles less than 0 0.1 mm, the finest particle, dash into suspension. In fact, wind erosion is most visible in the suspension stage as the dust storm or subsequently as the deposition along the fence line across roads. Wind erosion reduces productive capacity of soil as most of the nutrients required by the plant are carried away by the wind. So I hope you understood that what is wind erosion. Soil erosion in India, where it take place, causes of soil erosion. Heavy population pressure on land. India's forest cover continues to be very low, just that is 21.54% of the total area. And we got this source from the Forest Survey of India, which was conducted on 2017. On the other hand, the population continues to rise at the rapid rate and has already crossed 1 billion mark in the year 2000. More than forests are being destroyed to house and feed increasing population. The heavy pressure on land is the main cause of soil erosion. Nature of rainfall. India receives 80 to 90% of rainfall in the monsoon season. Heavy downpour during the monsoon month causes floods. In the remaining month, droughts are frequent. This affects the soil. Overgrazing. The number of domestic animals, particularly in the cattle in India, is the highest in the world. The cattle freely graze in the open lands, making them bare of vegetation. Winds carry away dry soil particles from the bare landscape. The soil erosion takes place in many parts of Rajasthan. Excessive grazing by cattle has resulted in the exposure of the topsoil to elements of denudation. Denudation, you understand, that is not only removal but also moving of the soil from one place to other place. Bad farming techniques. Bad farming techniques. Our Indian farmers are not well equipped and well educated about farming. So these techniques are poor. The poor farmers plough the fields in traditional ways. The farming techniques and small sites holding led to soil erosion on large scale. The absence of terracing, contour cultivation, crop rotation, and improper use of manure, etc., have caused serious problem of the soil erosion. Topography also play an important role for soil erosion. Let us see. Northeastern parts of the India, Shivaliks and hilly region of South India are affected by soil erosion because of the steep slopes and heavy rainfall. During heavy rainfall, soils are washed away by running water, the downslope. Deforestation is also an important factor. Forests are destroyed so that more land can be used for cultivation. Cutting of trees exposes the soil to water, wind, which leads to soil erosion. Region of soil erosion in India. In India, soil erosion is one of the greatest enemy of Indian agriculture, responsible for low agricultural productivity. According to an estimate, every year rainwater alone washes 1 out of 8 centimeter of thick fertile topsoil among the states Rajasthan comes on the top of the soil eroded region, followed by Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, and Karnataka. The worst affected areas includes the badlands of the Chambal and the Yamuna rivers. Then second, the Piedmont zone of the Western Himalayas. Piedmont zone, that is having a steep slope zone. Then we have the Chota Nagpur Plateau region, the Tapi Sabarmati Valley region in Gujarat, the rigor soil of area of Maharashtra. and the dry areas of Rajasthan, Gujarat, and Haryana. Prevention. What are prevention? Here are important points. Terrace farming. On hilly slopes, terrace act as a bunch of prevalent soil from being washed away by running water. Terrace farming is practiced with a successful result in Japan, Southeast Asia, and USA. Shelter belts. What are shelter belts is important point. So underline. Farmer farmer plant trees in several rows to check wind erosion. They are known as wind breaks. So these are shelter belts. Contour ploughing also very important. Ploughing or plowing along the contour on the slopes prevents soil being washed away by rainwater or by the surface runoff. Contours act like bunds. Terraces are leveled into steep like small fields with even slope. Contour ploughing is common in Japan, China, and some Southeast Asian countries. Strip cropping. What is strip cropping? Crops are grown in alternate strip of land to check the impact of the winds. Like alternate, you can say one row we are growing other one kind of, and in other row we are growing other kind of crop. Construction of dams. River cause soil erosion. Dams are built in upper course of rivers to control erosion of soil. That is also important. Now, what is plunging gullies? The gullies made in the soil are plugged with the deposition of silt during heavy rains. Planting trees, one of the important. The trees, like in case of shelter belts, are planted along the edge of the field, the wasteland, and on the steep slopes to prevent soil erosion as well as enhance the capacity of the soil to retain water. Soil conservation, I hope you all are familiar with. Based on these, you have to now find answers also, if you well understood. Soil conservation means prevention of soil loss from the erosion by prevention of reduced fertility of soil caused by overusage, acidification, salinization, and other types of soil contamination. There is an acute need to prevent soil erosion because of its adverse effect, which include the following: loss of fertile topsoil together with its mineral nutrients from the upper surface led to the gradual loss of the soil fertility and agricultural productivity. Lowering of the underground water table and decreasing soil moisture. Drying of vegetation and extension of arid lands increase in the frequency of droughts and floods. Silting of rivers and canal beds, reoccurrence of the landslide, adverse effect of the economic prosperity and cultural development. So that is what we are having meaning with soil conservation. What are soil conservation schemes here in India? From the very first 5 year plan, soil conservation measures were launched. The program under the state plan aim at conservation of soil, mainly agricultural land, with some components of the land reclamation, soil and land use survey, rising of utility trees or private and common lands. The centrally sponsored schemes, that is integrated watershed management in the catchment of the flood prone rivers, aims at enhancing the ability of catchment, reducing erosion and consequent silt load. A scheme for reclamation development of ravine areas was launched in Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan. The components of the scheme include, see, we have here cycle poverty of the soil erosion, how it is shown. This is one of the important. And to counter the cycle poverty, soil erosion government agencies to encourage use of technological soil conservation, use of high yielding crops, and alternative avenues of livelihood limit increase in population. So this is important. This also you can draw in notebook. Cycle poverty and soil erosion. How does it take place? In this you can full understand how soil is affected. So we are reading scheme reclamation and development of ravine areas was launched in Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan. This component of this scheme include, what does it include? Peripheral bunding. Peripheral bunding to halt for the ingress of ravines, afforestation of ravines for fuel, fodder, and reclamation of shallow ravines. Peripheral, you can understand peripheral word. Peripheral include peripheral different types. They are getting different types of bunding into different categories. And further ingress of ravine. Ingress, you can say Just we are dividing the rivers also in such a manner so that their current does not affect the soil sheet. The scheme of control for shifting cultivation is being implemented in the northeastern state. It encourages the farmers to practice terrace cultivation and afforestation to support fuel, fodder, and fodder requirement. National project on development of biofertilizers and national project on quality control encourage the use of biofertilizers as well as balanced and integrated use of fertilizers. In urban areas, rainwater harvesting is a means of checking soil erosion beside recharging groundwater. So all these are there. If you didn't understand any point, let me know, my dear students. And in the meanwhile, you have sufficient time. Mark these answers in your textbook. Along, put page number here. Mark page number in textbook also. Which question is on which page number? I hope you can find, and which are important, which you feel which are coming in 10 years. You might be knowing through question papers. If you are not knowing, I'll forward you one of the specimen paper also. And by seeing that, you can write those questions still which are in the syllabus. I told you syllabus also, from that you can see and you can write. Total there are 7 questions. So you can see there are these questions are there. All reasons also are important. All 7 questions you have to mark. Then practical work also is there with the help of suitable sketch. Show how the action of running water that causes sheet and gully erosion. In the meanwhile, so this is homework for you to do. In the meanwhile, we have a project also. So I will be giving you in my next class the project that you have to prepare for your half yearly exams. Okay, so be ready with this work. Don't postpone every day. Study every day, write every day, and be a genius person in your life and try to achieve your goal, what your parents desire. Wish you all the best for success. Okay, goodbye.